was feeling peckish, but there was some liverwurst in the fridge, so boy am I in a good mood now. This man instilled in me a sense of humor and a love for liverwurst. Today, in our continuing effort to catalog every single song ever written by anybody, an impossible task, by the way, did you know that every minute of every day, 3 minutes of new music comes out? So yeah. Anyways, I'm above, mad season for Ramon Mascarenhas. Now we know who to blame for the awful dance. All right, here we go. Yeah, one of the things I like about this song is it reminds me of two songs from related bands. It reminds me of Man in the Box, right? And it reminds me of Do the Evolution by Pearl Jam. I'll show you when we get there. What you're going to do is grab yourself an E minor chord. I'm using these two fingers for no real reason. Use whatever fingers you want, and you're going to go. So like this sounds really aggressive. So while you could use downs and ups, I'm going to use downs. Like down, down, and then a percussive, and then one more down. And then the bass note. So down, 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 bass note. Now open A string, hammer onto 2, open D string. And it's all kind of ringing out while it happens. And it's not wrong. The bass player then goes down to D. He's all simplified, of course, but he's all E, D. So, if you were campfiring this one and you wanted to flesh it out, you could go and then play a D. It wouldn't be wrong. That's not what they do in this track. I digress. More time. Great. Verse. We're going to go E minor. Here's a good strumming pattern for this one. Get good at 1 or 2 strumming patterns, or 3, and what you'll find is you'll become more naturally expressive with your right hand. Don't try to learn 72 strumming patterns all at once. Try to get really good at 2 or 3, and you'll find them coming more automatically, faster than you would have thought. But here's a good one for this. Just pick your favorites. It doesn't matter which one. Here's a good one for this. Down, up, down, 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 down. You want to hold your pick so light in this part that it's almost going to fall out. To G, but I don't think we're going to play big giant happy G. I think we're just going to play A string 2nd fret and E string 3rd fret, and we're just going to kind of strum the fat 4 strings. And then we're going to move to A, but we're going to leave the ring finger out of it. So we have D2 and G2, open B and E strings for Coldplay A, as I would call it, or A suspended 2. And then most of the time they also then, for the second measure of A, because it's E minor, G, A, but they take the middle finger off, and you got, and it's like an A7 suspended 2. So we got, the difference in sound that the pick makes on the strings when I'm holding it so floppily versus I'm not really strumming any harder with my right hand when I do that. It's just the pick gives more resistance, so it gives more of a, obviously I have some distortion on my guitar, but even so you can hear how much you can hear the string sort of ping against the strings. That's a real word, by the way. A sus 2, open G string. And the reason the reason about that G is half the time the bass player goes E to G, and the other half of the time he goes E, D for a sort of different feel, but I don't believe that the rhythm guitar changes its chord, and my evidence to support that this could be the case is that D is in G. Here's G, right? Here's B out of our G chord, and there's D. So the bass player has a couple of options. He can either play G or B or D when we're playing a G chord, and none of those would be wrong. So when he goes E, G over E, G, it's just as good as when he goes E, D over E, G, even though no one's playing a D. I fear I've belabored this point too long. Then we're back into the intro, of course. Great. The other parts we have are the... So grab your E minor. All right, so grab your E minor chord and you're going to do 5 strums, downs and ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Focusing mainly on the E, and you might get the A string a little bit, but it's not like a whole big E minor chord. It's not that, it's... And then you're going to grab a G power chord, so 3rd fret of the E string and 5th frets of the A and D strings, and you're going to go... And it's an up strum to begin. Up, slide, down, up. And then E, 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 B, D. Both power chords. B power chord is the 2nd fret of the A string. Same shape. All power chords are the same shape. And then a D power chord is more conveniently done here, I think, and it sounds like, I'm staring at my phone like you can see, because that's what I was just listening to. It sounds like this is the voicing that they use. You got open D, G2, and B3. It looks like this much of your D chord, but we don't want to hear the baby E string at all. And while that's the same voicing as your regular old D power chord, you hear it sounds just a little twangier, right? So I feel like I hear this. That's not even worth talking about. If you want to play this D power chord, that's totally fine. So we got E, 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 da, 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 E, 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 B, D. And then we have that, here's where it's like do the evolution. Remember, in do the evolution, we got... And that's a 9 chord starting at C. So we got A3, D2, G3, B3, and you just move it down 1 fret until your pointer finger is obsolete. But in this song, we got... So do your C9 chord, not C add 9, C9, and you're going to go ba, 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 ba. And notice you just squeeze when you strum for 4. And then you could move it down to B9, or you could just make it B7, and that would just be A2, D1, G2. Because I don't know that I hear this note in there. But, do whatever you want. You can make them both 7s. To E minor. And the reason why I think it's the C9 is because when they do it long, at the end of it they do 2, 3, 4, bomb onto the B. You definitely hear that note that time, but yeah, so you pick there, and that's that bit. And the solo, rather than do the solo specifically, what I want to show you is the scale that the solo uses, and you probably guessed that it's the E minor scale, because we start the whole song in E minor, and there's a heck of a lot of E minors in this song, so it's probably in the key of E minor, and you're probably right. But the E minor scale, which we've done the E minor pentatonic a whole bunch of times, but we're talking about the chill, almost sort of flamenco solo in the middle, and so I want to use this as an opportunity to show you the E minor scale off of the A string 7th fret, because you can play the E minor scale anywhere. You don't only have to play it on the 12th fret of the E string or starting on the open E string. You want to get adept at playing it lots of different places, because all the different places lend themselves to playing different little things. So here's the E minor scale starting on the A string 7th fret, because grandma always brings crappy deviled eggs, and that's where we do our E minor bar chord as a root 5. So go A7, 9, 10. This is the whole minor scale, not the minor pentatonic, which only has 5 notes. This has all 7 notes in it. So then D, 7, same thing, 7, 9, 10. G7, 9. B7, 8, 10. And baby E, same as that one, 7, 8, 10, and the scale would end here. And then it sounds complete, right? Oops. And then you sort of start mentally again. Also, since we went 7, 8, 10, 12, you can do the same thing on the other E string. It's the same notes, right? So if you're continuing down, start here. No, start here. All the way down, but that's what it is. So you can play any of the notes in that scale to sort of do whatever you want there for the solo. And every once in a while you hear Mike go on his regular old Mike McCready style minor pentatonicing, which we've discussed in our shape that we always discuss for the minor pentatonic. Yeah, I need to listen to the song now and see if I missed anything. I'll be right back. Alright, 2 interesting findings since we've started the video, but now you've been on the whole journey, so it can be meaningful to you too. In the verse, when they go to the G, they do just do this much, but they also strum the open B and the open E strings. Okay, great. The other thing is for this bit, this note stays. That D note stays, so it starts with the C9, and then you leave your pinky finger where it is, but you move the other fingers 1 fret down. Especially for the listen for it, it stays. Yeah, but you could just switch it to regular old B7 if that's too much for you. And the little things you hear in between that are lower, in between are the Mike McCready parts doing the E minor pentatonic. Down here, open 3, open 2, open 2, open 2, open 3, open 3, and you can be all bend the G string 2nd fret and end up on the D string 2nd fret. And that's that. So, Mad Season, I'm above. Great request, Mr. Macarena guy, and to everybody else, of course. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time with more stuff. Me and Kermie out.
Dark like in the darkest snow. This won't be darkest snow. Please don't embarrass us in the first video.